Hello friends, today's 19th presentation for the team of purchase and contracts team, and the topic is how to negotiate high value SITC contracts, that is supply installation testing and commissioning contracts. And today's project is how to negotiate lifts. Overall, this is my 99th presentation considering all the YouTube presentations that I have made so far. This presentation includes what are considered as high value contracts and few examples. Key components and material cost estimation given in the resource template RT01. Installation process, key activities, testing process, key activities, safety first, commissioning process, key activities, manpower estimation, how to estimate that along with the resource template. RT02, equipment, tools, manufacturing, and marketing variable cost, how to estimate, strategy requirements and approvals, estimating total cost, again given a resource template, negotiation strategy for SATC contracts and top 10 clauses to negotiate, and how can you become a negotiate like a pro. Now, one, what are considered as high value contracts and an overview. Those type of contracts that involve SATC, supply, installation, testing, and commissioning, and usually need integration with the other large ongoing project packages at the site. Here, the company document given to the contractor is usually called a agreement. A few examples of high value contracts are like setting up of new manufacturing plants for say EV electrical vehicles, setting up a heavy engineering and fabrication works like manufacturing turbines, setting up factories for precision engineering components, SATC for lifts and escalators for large projects like international airports or residential complexes or commercial complexes, external and internal electrical works, and so on and so forth. We are evaluating a premier lift system designed for high traffic office environment in this presentation. The goal is to estimate cost from ground up and negotiate smartly with the vendors. The lift must ensure speed, safety, security, and comfort along with the long-term reliability. Key components and material cost estimation. At the outset, I wish to state that whatever is being presented in this presentation is based on my hands-on experience and negotiating hundreds and hundreds of lifts in various projects involving all cost elements and encompassing all the stages of lift SITC. Material cost estimation, first principle basis. Break down every component like traction system, gearbox, car frame, guide rails, cables, panels, light, rescue system, etc. Use OEM data sheet for similar or past projects to benchmark quantity, weight, and specs. And import cost, taxes, and logistic margins. Estimate that a resource template RT01 is proposed for estimating the cost for our illustration of one lift, which is rupees 41.6 lakhs as per the computation in the next slide. The material description, quantities, and rate values indicated in the illustration are only hypothetical for your easier understanding, and actuals can vary considerably. Now, this is a resource tablet which I am proposing, ready to use. It has got 6 columns and 10 rows where it is serial number description in the column 2, unit of measurement, quantity, rate, column 5, and value in column 6. Let's look at say row number 1 and 2. The requirement is say steel for cabin structure. Estimated is that for one lift it may require say 4 tons or 4000 kgs, and let's assume that rate is 8 rupees per kg. So total value in column 6 is equal to column 4 multiplied by column 5, which is 3,20,000. Likewise, traction equipment, car frame, and gearbox, say number one set is required. Say let's assume that the value is say 10 lakhs. So total value is 10 lakhs. And likewise, I have listed various components bill of material which go to a lift, and you can always add more. And in this case the total value estimated is say 41 lakh 60,000 rupees. Installation process. This image shows two persons doing the installation in the lift, and I'll share the activity in next slide. Now, negotiating team must know and capture the following. Installation is just not physical fixing, it also includes scaffolding setup, shaft alignment, rail fixing, car frame, counterweights, door panel fitting, and wiring, etc. You need to track the man hours, equipment used, and the lift well readiness. And errors here can impact the time safety and timeliness later on. Testing process. This image is showing the lift being tested for various activities which I am just going to share. The negotiating team must know the requirement for testing, safety and performance. Testing checks are the system's heart, like load trials, overspeed checks, emergency stop, door safety, etc. And it includes power of simulation, vibration checks and speed, calibration, noise levels, etc. And these tasks require skilled engineers' knowledge. Commissioning, the final checkpoint. Here, the activities are shown in the next slide, which are, it is just that commissioning is just not a mere test run. It means checking floor level accuracy, touch panels, call buttons, and building management system integration. Also, it evaluates emergency alarms, waiting time logic, security features, and use comforts. Capture soft metrics too. Now, let's look at the manpower estimation. Now, this basic question here is how many people, what skills, and how long. So break the tasks by role, that is installation, testing, and commissioning, and identifying the mechanical, technical, technicians, electricians, quality inspector, engineers, and unskilled helpers required, and the unskilled persons required, and map this to the each of these activities, which I'm going to share in the next slide. In our illustration, it works out to be 96,000 rupees, 30,000 rupees, 50,000 respectively for SATC, which I'm going to share. Like this is a resource template called RT02. It has got 5 columns: serial number, description, installation, testing, and commissioning. Separate, these are given separately in 3 columns. And here, let's say, look at the row number 1 and 2. So, brief description of the technical activity. This I have listed earlier in the slides. And so, estimated skill man days are say 90 man days for installation, 20 man days for testing, and commissioning are 20 man days for MEP, basically for engineers for performance review and safety, etc. Likewise, we have to estimate the unskilled manpower, where 60 are estimated for installation and none for testing and commissioning. So likewise, you need to capture the man day rate, per day rate for each type of the skill level given in row number 4, and uh, similarly for the unskilled rate in row number 5, and work out the cost estimate based on the multiplication of the man days estimated earlier and the rates. So in this case, the total cost, manpower cost, is estimated for 1,76,000 for one lift, which is shown as 96,000, 30,000, and 50,000 respectively for installation, testing, and commissioning. Now let's look at the tools and equipment cost, including manufacturing and marketing variable cost. Now here I have given again a 4 column sheet, where column number 2 is description, third is installation, fourth testing and commissioning. Here one has to identify, negotiating team must know what are the equipment required and what are the tools required and what are the gauges required. For this, the help of the project team can also be taken, and these need to be captured here. For example, equipment for installation are traction gearbox, car frame, counterweight, guide rails, equipment required for these, and similarly for testing, carrying out load testing, and similarly for the commissioning for the operating panel, commissioning system, etc. And tools are tested. Now these the negotiating team must know. Now in this, the costs are indicated in this resource template 03. The total works out to be 1,34,000 rupees as shown in this column, as shown in this sheet. And there are 6 columns. Column number 1 is serial number, 2 is description, installation cost, testing cost, commissioning cost, and total cost. So key stages are already previously listed in the installation, testing, commissioning, so I'm not repeating. So equipment cost, let's assume that these are 50,000 rupees and 9,000 rupees and 6,000 rupees respectively for installation, testing, commissioning, totaling to 65,000. Now let me go back to the previous slide where I have just mentioned for the equipment is required for installation, uh, testing and operational in the row number 1 and sub rows below that. So this cost, let's say, is 50,000, 90,000, 9,000 and 6,000 respectively. Similarly, the cost for jigs, fixtures, etc. The activities were listed. The activities are listed in the previous this sheet, and now I'm computing the estimating the cost based on this in installation, testing, commissioning. So total cost is say 1,34,000. Statutory requirements and approvals. Now legal and statutory approvals. The license needed for the state lift from the state lift inspector, structural stability certificates, load testing documents. These are costly and time consuming. Here I have just assumed a lump sum cost was say 2 lakhs based on the installation of say 1 lakh, testing 20,000 and commissioning 80,000 rupees. Now estimating total cost for the lift. Now, so total cost, as you recall, in the resource template 01, it was material cost was 41 lakh 60,000 rupees, manpower cost was 1 lakh 76,000, resource template 02, equipment tool manufacturing variable cost was 1 lakh 34,000, stretcher power is 2 lakhs, so total is 46 lakh 72,000. Now here the purchase person has to negotiate overheads and margins and taxes. So the total cost will be 46 lakh 72,000 for a 10 level high lift. Negotiation strategy with technical strength. Be a strategic negotiator which is fair and data backed. Know your numbers, compare competing vendors breakdowns, question excesses like materials, mandates, equipment based on the code given by the vendor, and use technical logic, negotiate terms and conditions as they are very critical, and also negotiate the AMC rates beyond the defect liability period while negotiating the contract price, because then you can get some advantage. Top 10 clauses to negotiate. See, I have in my Ultimate course, there are 140 clauses which are listed, which include 34 domestic purchase related, 16 imports related, and 90 installation and testing and commissioning related clauses are there in section 3 of my Ultimate course. But I am listing here, sharing here 10 top clauses, which is scope of supply, installation, testing, and commissioning, and responsibility metrics must be negotiated, delivery, installation, testing, commissioning periods, payments, terms, warranty and defect liability periods, advance payments and performance guarantees, and strategy, conformance requirements and the payments, legal clauses, quality requirements, risk management clauses, and change order management. These at least these 10 top clauses must be negotiated. Want to start negotiating like a pro? This want to master rate negotiations for a complex system like this? Check out my in-depth Udemy course, which is built for professionals like you, as per the link below, which is also given in the description. This course is consistently ranked as top of the Udemy courses. Similar courses offered and ranked at 4.8 out of 5 scale, being the highest rating course. As of 30th June 25, there are 6249 course enrollments. It was launched in December 24 end. You want to get a free copy of this summary of this my Udemy course, including key insights. Since you are not decided, please fill in the Google form given my description and I shall mail to you. Thank you very much for watching.